What is up, everybody? Traversal here today. I have finally finished Spider-Man 2. I wanted to wait until the honeymoon phase was over with a lot of people before I actually talked about it. This is going to be a spoiler-filled review and thoughts of my thoughts of the game. Pretty much the story aspect of the game. We'll talk about gameplay aspects as well. I played it after they released a lot of patches as well too, so I didn't really experience that many bugs in my playthrough, which is a good thing. But there was a few that I experienced, like two of them was probably like minor graphical glitches, where the characters like clipping through the environment or whatever, clipping through objects. One major one was that I had to actually restart the level because when you're climbing up pipes and walls, it's a little bit wonky. It was like when you sprayed him to climb a pipe, I had to restart the whole thing because he kept like glitching out. He couldn't progress forward, so that was one of the major bugs I've faced. But other than that, pretty bug free from my experience. It was like I'm shocked because what I was seeing online was a major catastrophe, but not that too many bugs in my playthrough, which is a good thing. So like I said, I beat the game. I didn't do all the side missions and etc. I don't feel like doing all that just for like a platinum trophy and a lot of busy work that you can do. But the story was, I have to say, it was okay in my opinion. The first villain you see is Sandman. He's pretty much like a glorified cameo. It seem like they pretty much copy heavily from the God of War franchise. When you see Sandman, he's like a humongous titan. I mean, that's kind of cool, but I kind of seen it before in God of War franchise. It kind of did the same thing in that franchise as well, the first God of War game. So, I mean, it was shocking if you never played God of War, but if you played that, it's kind of the same old thing right there. So, like, and that's kind of the case with this game. It's like they just took a little bit from a lot of popular franchises and put it into one game, which, I mean, it's not a bad strategy, but it's kind of safe as well too. Craven is like the next villain you fight against. He's like hunting the other villains from the previous game, and I kind of wish you would have saw him actually hunting the villains. We've seen one aspect where he just straight up kills Scorpion. What else? Like they dragged Scorpion to this room. Craven fights Scorpion and he kills him. Like, I would have rather seen him like hunt Scorpion, like some type of arena or some type of death trap arena. Scorpion has to survive fight against the hunters or something. I don't know, some type of environment where you see him actually hunting the different villains, because he is Kraven the Hunter, and I just Kraven is to kill the villains or whatever. So I wasn't feeling about Kraven, but Kraven is a badass villain. I actually like when they made the villains in this game actual villains. Like there's no good in these villains because that's what these different movie companies want to do, was like Kraven is the hero, Venom is the hero. Nope, not in this game. These villains are actual villains. They are evil people, and you can't talk no jutsu these guys out of being villains. So I love that about the villains. Kraven is a badass villain, which is pretty cool in this game. So I did enjoy the Kraven parts. I enjoyed his enemies as well, but one gripe I had about the different enemies, whether it be the Kraven enemies, the regular thugs, the cultists, the symbiotes, they all play the same. Whether it's a thug that's a brute, a thug that has like different weapons like that, instead of being swords, it's like a crowbar or a police baton. It's the same group of people. It's like a big tough guy, a big thug, a big brute. It's somebody with a weapon or somebody with a shield. It's the same enemies, despite whether it be a symbiote, a thug, or a hunter. Is the same thing. So one of my grievances, but it's like, I guess I got a short amount of time to do that. Couldn't be too creative. Like, I at least expected like the enemies to be somewhat different. Like if you fighting against the hunters, they got something unique about them compared to like the symbiotes, but it's not really that different. So it was kind of disappointing, gameplay wise, but story wise, I like what Kraven had going on there, and how he wanted to hunt Peter down. He got the big finale because he was dying. He's an old man that's dying, and he just wanted to live out his final glory. And that's where we get to Venom. Venom is a cool villain as well. I like how he just, like, once again, he's a villain. He manipulates the heroes, manipulates Peter, manipulates Harry, manipulates even Mary Jane to get what he wants. He makes the heroes think they need him, but he's actually manipulating them to produce his whole like earth field of symbiotes, which is a pretty cool concept. But it was taken from Web of Shadows. If you played the original Web of Shadows game, notoriously very well known for having Wolverine Venomized in it. You saw like a Venom version of Wolverine and different characters as well. It's very similar to that concept. So they took a little bit from different parts of different successful Spider-Man stuff and put it in one game. like Peter Parker becoming evil, becoming irrational with the suit. That was in Spider-Man 3. So they took a little bit from each different Spider-Man stuff. So I wasn't really shocked with anything from this game, except for when Venom grew wings. I wasn't expecting that. That was pretty cool, actually. Mary Jane. I did not like the Mary Jane parts whatsoever. I don't like how they made her like the third, like they wanted to make her such a hero in this game, which is like, I didn't care for that. Mary Jane had a lot of time on screen, which is very weird. The name of the game is only Spider-Man 2. You play Miles and Peter, but you know they had to put Mary Jane as a big focus as a third hero, which I don't really care for. I don't care about Mary Jane. I think she just serves the purpose of love interest in most media. That's what she should have been remaining as. I didn't care about playing as her at all. It really annoyed me playing as Mary Jane. People can say that, hey, this is better than the first game, better than herself, much than the first game, but just because it's slightly better don't mean it's a good thing. I completely think that points should be taken off because you gotta be forced to play as her in this game. I wanted to play as Spider-Man, Peter Parker, or Miles. I didn't sign up for John Wick, female John Wick. I didn't sign up for that, so did not care for the Mary Jane stuff whatsoever. Except for the one sequence where she's like, and Venom, when Peter is like chasing her, he's like fully engulfed by the symbiote, becomes evil. That was kind of cool. But other than that, I didn't care for the Mary Jane stuff at all. It's just like just a bore. I hate it every second playing as Mary Jane. I just didn't like it at all. So that was a big downside for me with that. Let me see what else story-wise. The Martin Lee stuff with Miles, like I like the concept that he had to forgive. He was like, he first had the chance to kill Martin Lee. He was like, I'm not gonna do it. He was like really close. He really wanted to do it. Like he could have ended him right there, but then Craven intervened. Until you got to the part where you had the Craven had to make like the different arena where they got the fights to death. I'm like, that was kind of, I don't know, that whole like. I understand like they wanted him to forgive Martin, but I don't know if I can be that forgiving with someone who just killed his father in the previous game. It's like, really, I don't know. I wasn't feeling that. Then he became like a hero at the end. I was like, yeah, let the villains be villains. Let them be villains. I was like, you did what you did in the first game. Don't try to make it justify like he feels bad about it. Now, I guess you can have that, whatever. But I wasn't feeling that. But that conclusion, and I kind of get what Miles say. He don't want to have that hate anymore. He's tired of hating. He's tired of having the hate in his heart. So I guess it did work out, but I still wasn't. Kind of wish they went a different direction with that, though. To be honest, but what else can I say about this game? The Traversal. Instead of mainly swinging around in this game, you're using the web wing, so you can glide around the city like Batman. Instead of usually swinging around like Batman, it's like Spider-Man. You're gliding like Batman in this game. So, I mean, it's a lot faster to get around a city this time. So I guess it's a cool addition as well. But you know, just like more like Batman. And to be honest, like I said in my previous video yesterday, if there was actually a Batman game, like a new Batman single player game, would Spider-Man 2 really be that big right now? I don't know. I think it's something that could just really kill it. They're knocking it out the park because there's no competition right now in the superhero genre. It's like, because Warner Bros. Keeps screwing up by making these games as service games. So you got these co-op superhero games, and nobody wants that. They just want a good, compelling single player game with good graphics, good gameplay, and Spider-Man 2 is delivering that, but they have no competition. I think if there's a new Batman game, any type of superhero game, any license, TMNT, Justice League, whatever, yeah, they just have the same template. I think it would be just as great, but this is all we have right now, which I think someone did a great job, but it's just too much. I just didn't like the Mary Jane stuff. That was like the only big complaint I could think about right now is the Mary Jane stuff. It's just like very disappointing. Then Peter's getting his butt whooped throughout the entire game. I'm like, really, bro? Peter, people are angry about Miles being the new Spider-Man. He might as well be. Peter was getting his butt whooped the entire game. Like Craven took him out. He stabbed him. He was out of it. Harry had to save him. I was like, he's getting destroyed the entire game. He's whining like a little bee the entire game. Mary Jane, Mary Jane is angry with him, even though it didn't make sense because he was taking over by the symbiote. Like really, I don't know. He's getting blamed for stuff that the aliens literally control him. So I don't know. It was okay. It was okay in my opinion. Better than the first one. I think it's better than the first one. Kind of disappointed. I didn't care about the Yuri, the cop, the female cop who was in the first game, who's now super in this game. Her little side mission stuff, I didn't really care for. Only until the very end when we saw like we got the hint that Carnage is gonna be the cult leader or whatever. He's gonna be him. Which is pretty probably gonna do it for the third game, which is pretty cool. Hope we get to see Carnage. I'm definitely down for that. So I didn't really care for Yuri stuff. I kind of wish they had more time to flesh out like the relationship between Yuri and Spider-Man, to be honest, because it's like a big thing. She was a cop in the first game. She was a good person. Now she's like a villain. No, she's not a villain, but a vigilante is the word. Vigilante in this game. So, who else? Black Cat. We didn't see Black Cat was pretty much a glorified cameo too. We didn't really see her at all. There's like Insomniac made her use portals. They want to really flex that Ratchet and Clank portal technology. I was like, okay, and it's in this game apparently. So Black Cat was using portals. Didn't make sense, but there you go. They really had to show that Ratchet and Clank technology right there. So I wish we would have saw more of her in this game, but we didn't, which is very disappointing. What else happened in this game? The side missions were very kind of trash, mediocre-ish. That was one that was kind of funny where you saw we had to take control of the robot dog, which is I like that one, but that was kind of humorous. The getting the high schoolers, the dude's boyfriend, a gift or whatever. I wasn't really feeling that. I didn't feel playing as Miles' girlfriend. I didn't even finish that one. I didn't care for that one at all. And like clean up the graffiti. I didn't care for that. They had a Howard. They had the pigeon guy in the first game in this one. And I was like, it completely took me from a complete 180. Like, why did they kill off this character? I was not expecting that. Like, you're like flying with the pigeons and you just like, hey, you get back to Howard and he's apparently dead. Like, what? I wasn't expecting that, but it is the same voice actor from Lee from The Walking Dead. Like, I was noticing, like, hey, this is the guy from Walking Dead. It's the same guy, but next thing you know, he's just R.I.P. to Howard, apparently. So that was wild to see. I didn't like how they killed that character off. even though the pigeon mission in the first game was kind of ridiculous, but still, he was still like a well-known side mission. I'm mad they just killed that character off out of nowhere. Oh yeah, the different suits in the game. As we know, Miles' final suit is the Adidas advertisement. They didn't care for that. I'm kind of still mad. They sold out to have an Adidas sponsorship. Kind of ridiculous. Wasn't really feeling that, but other than that, I like that you can you can use the different suits in the game. I like the different, I guess, like other character inspired suits. Like when you beat Kraven's missions, you get his suit. Miles can wear that. So there was a few suits I actually liked, like maybe like 5 suits from each character I like, but the vast majority of the other suits I don't really care for. So there's a lot of busy work that you can make that you can do to unlock these suits, but I only care for like 5 from each character, to be honest. Like the other ones, I just don't care about at all. So instead of backpacks you're collecting, you're doing a whole spider bot thing, collecting them. I was like, I don't really care for that either. Like, it's just more busy work. So that's why I'm probably not gonna get a platinum trophy, because this is like a lot of busy work that you gotta do. Like, no real reward for doing this nonsense right here. So what else that I want to talk about in this game? I'm drawing a blank right now. They hinted that you're gonna get Silk at the very end of the game. We see that that little girl that was hinted at the very end was probably possibly gonna be Silk, the Asian girl. So Miles is probably gonna be the mentor for her, which is what they're kind of hinting toward. Spider-Man 3. We saw that Norman Osborn is super angry at Peter Parker. He's super angry at Spider-Man because of, I guess, his son. And it's just like, Harry should have possibly been dead. He should have been dead at that point. Like, really. Honestly, he probably should have died, but I guess they want to kill that major character off. But I was like, really? I don't see why he's so angry, but apparently there's gonna be a team up between him and Doc Ock from the first game, and they're gonna possibly hint at a Green Goblin, Doc Ock return in the third one. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to the third one if they do make that one, but it just kind of irked me that Norman Osborn was super angry at Spider-Man over him pretty much saving Harry's life, because they probably should have just killed Harry, to be honest. I would have probably just, as Peter's best friend, he probably should have been killed. I don't know. If I were written the game, he probably would have killed Dolph. He probably would have killed Dolph, to be honest. But I'm kind of curious what Insomniac does with this. Yeah, just them showing the suits right now. Some of these suits were just so ugly. Like, there was one where you had like a Peter he's wearing like a wrap over his head. It's like I don't know if it's like a Japanese inspired one. I didn't like that one at all. And you got one looking like your Batman. Like, a lot of suits I just didn't like. I thought a lot of them was just ugly, but that's my opinion. I am drawing a blank on stuff I'm talking about. Like, overall, like I said, I enjoyed the game. I just didn't like Mary Jane stuff. The major downside to this. So I'll probably score like a 7 or 8 out of 10, to be honest. Great game. I didn't like how they did Peter's character. Like, he's supposed to be the main Spider-Man, but he's getting his butt whooped throughout the entire game. And yeah, I could definitely see why Peter Parker is taking a break, because he definitely went through some emotional stuff, a lot of heavy-hitting stuff in this game. So I could definitely see some mentally draining stuff. So I could definitely see why he wants to take a break from being Spider-Man. So I don't blame him. Apparently, part 3, you're gonna play as Spider-Man, or whatever spinoff games be Spider-Man. Oh yeah, the Venom segments. Oh yeah, I gotta talk about that. You guys should get to play as Venom. That was such a power fantasy right there, playing as Venom. You feel so powerful playing as Venom. Or even when Peter has that, like, the symbiote suit, and you got like the infinite surge abilities, you feel so powerful, which I love that part of the game. You just feel completely powerful. You just, like, each time you like do twists at an enemy, you do like a combo, doing like a special move afterwards. So you feel so powerful playing this. I like when you play as either Venom or hit that symbiote suit from Peter. So that was pretty cool to do as well. And yeah, like I said, I enjoyed the game. It's kind of sad that was PlayStation's only big game of this year, but I gotta give it probably a 7 or 8 out of 10. In my honest opinion, I don't think it's perfect. Once again, I don't think this is a game of the year. I think this is only being talked about because, once again, there's no competition in this genre right now. Let's be honest. There's no competition. It's sad to see, but once Rocksteady gets their head out the behind, to bring a new single-player Batman game that's not games as a service focus, or co-op, I think they can have major competition for this Insomniac series, or Wolverine, or whatever Insomniac does next. So those are my thoughts about this. Definitely want to see your thoughts down below. Leave a like this video. As always, thanks for watching, and peace.